Gets open for three. Dagger!
The kick, and here it comes. Swing and a miss! And a World Series Game 7 winning Curly W is in the books.
Washington Capitals are the 2018 Stanley Cup champions. You like that? You like that? I like that.
You gotta like that, right?
My approval ratings keep going up.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business.
Welcome in to Feeding the Curse, week 3. Stevie, wake up. I saw you do a quick one there. Welcome back. Welcome back. I know it's a little late. It's a little late, but we are here 3 weeks in a row, gents. It's nice to see you, Stevie. FP, it's nice to see you as well. LP may make an appearance here. We'll see. There's a little kerfuffle off air we'll maybe get into here as well. But it's good to see you, boys. Let's jump right into it. Week 3 in the NFL. Yeah, listen,
that's the kind of stuff we need on air. I need that stuff on air. People pissed at other people. Listen, okay, brings in listeners. He's salty. Also, if he's man enough, tell him to come on air and say the stuff he says in the WhatsApp.
Tonight with indoor soccer. And the entire back and forth was comical. I don't think he appreciated the irony of what he was, the beta energy he was putting out, to be very honest. I don't think he fully grasped what was happening in the chat. We'll come back to it. How about that? But listen, this was Stevie. There's no way you watched more than, let's see, it was a rainy Sunday. There was some life events happening. I'm going to say you watched one half of football in total this weekend. Am I close?
In the background, a half and a quarter.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Come on, we got stuff to do.
I mean, I'm surprised actually. It was a busy weekend. FP and I had an event on Friday. That was wild. Let's not talk about that here.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, I guess, and in some weird ways. But I'll be honest. I got to Sunday, and I took 2 different naps during the Commanders game. The glorious naps. One with the kids on me, and one with the kids not on me. That was a bad game. Start to finish. I think if you're passing out grades to most of the players on offense, everyone's getting, I think, a C, a D, an F. I don't think there's anyone that you can spotlight or highlight and say, hey, they played all right. I mean, if you're looking for kudos, they all played a lot of downs. They survived without significant injury. The O-line got however many snaps it was altogether. I guess those reps count for something. But FP, you were pretty vocal in the chat. All the praise for EB last week, new EB. It seems like you want to recant or take some of that back.
Not necessarily EB. It's Ron Rivera at this point.
Guy, one week it's EB, then the next week you're on.
No. Last week I gave my apology to Ron Rivera because of that win, bringing in EB and doing all that stuff. But this week it's Ron Rivera, and it's for one specific reason, and it's a topic that Stevie loves. It's the offensive line, right? That has nothing to do with EB, has really nothing to do with Howell. I mean, you can get into the debate about Howell holding onto the ball too long, taking sacks, making it harder for the O-line.
He holds that O-line so long.
He does, but that O-line is terrible. And it's been shouted from the hilltops. Every talking head news show, every podcast, every web series, every whatever, Washington Commanders O-line needs a lot of work. You bring in Andrew Wiley, you get Nick Gates, the guy that you drafted in the 3rd or the 4th round this year is on IR. Like, Ron does not hit on the O-line. He does not do that. And we're terrible. We're terrible. And yet somehow, and this is a knock on EB, Brian Robinson had a fantastic game, and we went away from the run. I think he is the running back with the 3rd most 10-plus yard rushing plays or carries over the last 12 weeks of football, and we just don't use him. We just go away from the run. And when you have I
don't know if you can be giving anybody kudos for a great game when you lose the way they lost. It wasn't competitive.
I mean, Brian Robinson was getting 7 yards per carry.
I know.
You got to keep running. It was a rainy, wet game first of all, why is Antonio Gibson on the damn team?
Yeah, well,
any touch that he had should have been B-Rob's. I just from the top to bottom,
I killed Gibson
we are
last
not a
week.
Super Bowl caliber team.
I killed. I mean, it's crazy how the narrative changes in a week, huh? But
I mean, nobody said Super Bowl last week, but
I mean, I was thinking it. I was thinking it a little bit, right? I mean,
we thought we were into competitive range. We're not even close to competitive range. You look at what the Cardinals did to the Cowboys. We're not even close to the Cardinals level.
And I think that's a fair thing to look at. I think you go back to week 1. You know, we were expecting to beat the Cardinals. We did end up beating the Cardinals. The Cardinals went out in week 3 now. They, look at them. They've played 3 NFC East opponents in a row. Okay. They should have beat Washington. They absolutely should have beat New York, right? I mean, that was a miracle comeback for Daniel Jones and the Giants. And they did beat the Cowboys, right? So they lost to arguably the worst team in the NFC East twice. I mean, in some order, it's Washington, New York, right? But they should have won both of those and lost to the Cowboys. The Cardinals maybe aren't as terrible as we thought they were. And we'll talk about the Broncos, I think, a little bit later on. I think they deserve their own segment. They're clearly not as good at, there should be no victory laps here when we look at these 2 victories. Maybe Arizona is better than we thought. The Broncos look a lot worse. But I want to focus on the Bills here for a second. They're a complete team. And yes, Josh gets a fair amount of hate for being reckless with the ball, but he wins games he's supposed to win, right? You throw out the first game of the season against the Jets when they lose Aaron Rodgers. He should have won that game. Throughout the majority of his career, he wins games against bad teams or against teams that are inferior. He doesn't let his guys play down. I know it was a homecoming in some regard to Stephon Diggs. And Stevie, I was thinking about a certain memory, I think, that you and I share about the Bills, specifically the Bills in FedEx.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, RIP 21, right? 36 before that. And I actually was considering wearing that jersey on Sunday as I was getting super hyped up for that game. It was the same 36 jersey that I wore with Stevie all those years ago at FedEx when the Bills came to town. Gibbs did the double timeout, if I'm not mistaken. We ended up losing that game, but that was another, literally another, like a lifetime ago. Stevie, I'm curious to get your thoughts. I know you didn't, you stated you didn't watch a ton of the game. I wasn't surprised. I think even the most hardcore fans, given the weather, they just didn't look like they were in the game at all. Like it got away from them quick, and it wasn't expected. I mean, Sam, they looked good. They looked good on the opening drive. They looked poised. Just backbreaking turnovers, bad decision making. I don't know how much you actually saw, but here we are 2 days later.
All right, let me be the voice of reason here. Okay, for a second here. Let's take a step back on a macro level. If you had come, if the powers that be had come and said the Redskins, I'm just gonna say Redskins. That's it. The Redskins.
Okay. Got the logo right over your head.
The Redskins are 2-1 after week 3. You take it. You take it every time, right? There are very, very good teams.
I would take 2-2 after 4, to be very honest.
Well, there you go. So I mean, there are very good teams at this moment in time that are 1-2 or even 0-3. If you look at the Vikings, so you take that. But on the flip side of that, there have been 6 halves of football in the last 3 weeks. We've looked good in exactly one of them.
1.5.
Yeah, 2.
1.5. So say a half and a quarter. I mean, I don't think we ever looked really good against Arizona. I think there were some spots where Howell looked good and they made some plays. And we eked out a win. But Denver, and the half that we looked really good in was a team that just gave up 70 points the week after. So we played really, really good for one half of football against a team and a defense that just gave up a historic number of points. So what are we? You Belichick it, and you are what your record is. You're 2-1, and you take that, and you are. I'm good with being 2-1, but clearly, this team doesn't look like the as presently constructed, and at its current where they are. They don't look like they're going to compete for a playoff spot. Now that could change. Now, this is where we're going to see the maturation of Sam Howell, the growth. Josh Allen and the Bills showed they're in a different class.
100%.
Bills defense.
The NFL has, there's 4 or 5, maybe 6 like teams that are legitimately competing for a Super Bowl right at this point in time, right? Throughout injuries and all that other stuff, right? Just looking at through 3 weeks of play, competitive football, real football, live action, there's like 5 or 6 teams, and we talk about the highs, top 5, low 5 every week that are just miles better than everyone else, right? That grouping of, I still think the Commanders, they fit in that, 10 to 20 range. Like they're somewhere in there, right? Their record would say they should be in there. It was just a really discouraging performance, right? It wasn't a competitive game. And I referenced this, a few minutes ago, Stevie. It's not that they had a horrible start, right? I mean, their opening drive, if I'm not mistaken, they were driving the ball. Right. There was some, they fell behind. They abandoned the run to FP's point. Robinson looked good. I mean, Robinson, he's not going to be the guy. He's going to be a guy that you look at the box score week to week, and it's going to be, 15 carries for 80 yards and a touchdown, right? The numbers aren't going to leap off the page. That's just my opinion, right? This was an anomaly, 7 yards a carry. They had too much ground to make up, and they completely abandoned the run. Gibson, for me, is a bigger issue. Right, Gibson cannot be trusted on the field, and he was trying to make a play. He was, he was spinning when the fumble and all that jazz, but he fumbles too much. He can't be trusted at this point. I don't know what you do with him. Maybe you look to trade him or you just stash him, but he's got, I don't like to talk about like fantasy football because nobody cares, about fantasy. We're talking about actual football here, but you can't have him on a fantasy roster.
But Joe, I'm sorry. There are levels of issues here, and we can't get into. Gibson is an issue, but
Gibson.
I also think
he's a big issue. He's a big issue because you can't run Robinson 40 times a game. He's not. I think Derrick Henry.
I would take the Gibson's issue pales in comparison to where our offensive line is. I'll give you another 100%. Issue that actually isn't an issue because the O-line is so bad that we can't even talk about it. Wide receivers not getting separation. Not getting open. I love when every announcer who watches just as much Redskins, barely watches any Redskins games than me, says Terry McLaurin is so good at making catches in traffic. Why is he always in traffic?
Well, why is he always jumping? Why is he always leaping to catch the ball? Right? Why is he never being? Why don't we run slants? I'm gonna get pissed off. What? We're the only team in the league that can't run a freaking slant for 5 yards, catch the ball, fall down. Move over, just keep the chains moving. We're the only team in the league that doesn't do it. I got to go back 20 years to watch stupid Steve Spurrier throw bubble screens to
Osaka,
whatever it was. We run 80 of those. We can't run one slant. Bieniemy had Travis Kelce for a decade. He freaking architected an entire offense. I don't care who was calling plays. Run 5 yards, turn, catch the ball. If you have space, run, and then just fall down.
You're missing the forest for the trees here, Joe. What I'm trying to say is
scheme anyone open. This is not new. The reason I'm on Gibson is if you can't run the ball, you can't even pretend. You can't even pretend to have play action. You can't roll Howell out. He's too short. Listen, I'm going to lose my mind. We legitimately are the only team in the league that cannot. Curtis Samuel can get you 5 yards. The problem is we're going to scheme him for 3.5. He's going to be short every single time. This is literally our team in a nutshell, and I'm super pissed now.
Salty Joe is one of my favorite Joes. Salty Joe.
I got a chub over here. That was fantastic.
It's so annoying.
You can't get mad at the play.
You guys are killing the offensive line. The offensive line is a problem. Fine.
It's the only problem that matters.
You can't fix the offensive line on the fly at this point. You can stop playing Gibson. You can, right?
No.
You can put more tight ends to block, but you still have to Howell holds the ball too long. I mean that extra half second. Maybe it was the rain. I don't know. Maybe he's too short. He can't see. I don't know. Jahan having 4 targets in a half is asinine.
Unacceptable.
McLaurin not getting McLaurin needs to touch the ball 7 times a half. I don't care if they're hand.
You're saying they need to run it more. FP's saying that
they're not good enough. The offensive line is not good enough to pass protect Howell.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you have to run the ball.
I'm saying that.
But you have to run the ball. They can't run the ball effectively with one running back. They can't do that. They can't. There's no team in the league can.
You're just making me and Stevie's points here right now. The O-line sucked. give it to B-Rob. That's all we're saying. When you give it to B-Rob, when you run the ball, it goes easier for your rookie QB to handle the game, for the speed of an NFL game to slow down. And then you get play action. And then you get Terry and Jahan open.
Listen, I'm
and
hot.
then
I'm hot.
No, hold on.
What about the stupid defensive line? Can we talk about them?
Are we rescinding apologies? I think we're
this team sucks.
I'm rescinding apologies to Chase Young.
You can't yell at the defense. They kept the game within 2 possessions up until halfway through the third.
Was there ever any doubt
that turning it over?
When
your offense has 5 turnovers and your defense keeps the Bills, the Super Bowl contending Bills, to within 2 possessions for the entirety of the game, you cannot get mad at that defense. You cannot do it. Diggs had a good game, whatever. It's the Bills.
They also gave like 600 rushing yards to a guy that you don't even know.
They kept you within 2 possessions against the Bills after five turnovers, 5 of them. And they kept you within 2 possessions. The defense gets a break on this game, and we can only be mad at the offense. We could be mad at Ron Rivera.
Will you say the same thing next week when Jalen Hurts lines up and does his like? I watched a fair amount of that Eagles game last night.
He does the push against every team, and I don't understand how nobody can stop it.
It's because the announcers have to tell us every game without fail 10 times that he squats 600 pounds. That's
100%.
why, right? And frankly, I don't hate the play. I actually enjoy watching the play is fine. I don't mind the play.
Push.
The play is also a little bit illegal because they also pull, but we won't get into that.
It shouldn't. Our front 4 should fare better.
They should.
They should. That's all I'm saying. They should.
But the defense on this show gets a pass this week. They didn't take over the game, but they kept us in the game. It's the 5 turnovers, the costly fumble inside the 30, which I believe Gibson has done 3rd most in the league since he joined in 2020. It's Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson that have the most costly turnovers within the red zone for their team. The most points affected. He is up there, and he shouldn't be on this team. Don't stash him. Don't waste a roster spot. Don't do anything.
Just give carries to the other guy.
Why are we letting Chase Young off the hook? Listen, one of the games I did watch was last night, the Bengals-Rams, and when the Rams were driving and they had any momentum, Trey Hendrickson was dominating, and could we trade Hendrickson for Young and a wad of Josh Harris's cash?
Matthew Stafford is 65 years old. That's an irrelevant point.
I've never seen Chase Young dominate a football game. That's a relevant point.
They also have 2 receivers that are inferior to the receivers we have on this team, the 3 that we have, and they scheme them open.
But they have Tom McVay.
Listen.
Isn't Bieniemy supposed to be at least McVay? At least.
Okay. Are we going after 3? Like we got to decide what we want to be after 3 games. Do we want to be mad at the enemy?
Be better. This is the hill I'm going to die on.
You can be mad. No.
You need to be better running the ball, and you can't do that with only Brian Robinson. You cannot run. Gibson cannot be trusted to run the ball. You can't be. I mean, you can roll him out there as a decoy, but you're realistically not going to throw them the ball. And once he catches the ball, like he can catch, he needs to go down. Like he has to be under explicit instructions. Like run your wheel route, catch the ball. Don't even no yards after catch.
Just don't even use him. Listen,
they have to be able to control the clock. They have to be able to run the ball to keep these games even remotely close. That was what they did against the Eagles. And I know, listen, the Eagles last year, obviously they made it all the way to the Super Bowl. I get it, right? They're a good team. We beat them last year. The game plan was very simple. With a lesser quarterback, a lesser offensive line, and a lesser defense. They should be competitive in this game. My fear is that they're not going to be.
This is what you need to remember, right? Bieniemy is in his 3rd game with this team. All right, OTAs, bullshit. Training camp, bullshit. Preseason, bullshit. Week 1 is even bullshit because this is Bieniemy's first time seeing this group of guys run at full speed, trying to execute his plays against real competition. So yeah,
maybe they got to simplify the playbook. Maybe they got to pull the Jets and take the playbook down from get it from 100 plays down to 80, like
he
or
needs
70.
to adjust 100%. I agree. Have quicker developing plays. Don't have your receivers going out for 15-yard curls.
They can line up Curtis Samuel as a running back if they want. Like I don't care, but they have to run the ball, and they have to stick to it. I mean that's another problem as well. And
the anger in this show must be directed to Ron Rivera. We are in year 4 of his bullshit experience.
5.
The year 4, year 5. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. The Eagles tanked in 2019, right? Rebuilt, made it to the Super Bowl. They are one of the elite teams in the NFL. Why can we not do it quickly? Why is Sirianni?
I don't know. Why can't you get a microphone? Why can't you get a microphone? I'm gonna have to mute you. So you're popping in my ear. You give me a freaking headache.
Listen.
All right.
Is this the shortest honeymoon that Josh Harris has ever been on? I mean, talk about a 70% Bills crowd at FedEx Field raining on homecoming weekend.
Are you surprised?
I just want to know, is he surprised?
No, Buffalo's going to travel well. They're one of the better teams in the league. Buffalo stinks. People like
Joe.
They're going to travel.
You don't think the
Steelers
same thing
in Vegas yesterday or Sunday night, whenever it was? Like the better teams.
The difference between
they travel
visiting fans versus taking over a stadium. It's very, very different. The Bills were making noise. Fans were making noise on third down at FedEx.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen, it's week 3. We were 2-0.
Well, listen, like you said at the beginning, I love that question, right? Would you take 2-2 to start the season? Yes. Yeah, I would take 2-2.
Well, you're going to have to because they're going to lose.
And that's 100%. Fine. And that's fine. But the Cowboys losing is helpful, right? The Giants, honestly, look like a pretty big mess also. They don't have anyone who can catch the ball. They don't have anyone who can run the ball. They don't have any, they can't play defense. And the mouth breather up there, he's barely keeping it together. So I'm fine where we are. The Cowboys losing, yeah, I mean, they lost what's his face too. The cornerback,
Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, they're gonna hurt. I mean, they were a team that were unanimously a top 5 team across the league going into Arizona, expecting to win. Their fans travel very, very well, as we know, and they laid an egg. The NFC isn't there's some great teams in the NFC, but if we're talking playoffs, right? Let's not talk Super Bowl. Let's be realistic. Can they make the playoffs? Yes, this team can make the playoffs. They can.
I think we just all went through a collective therapy session there, and I think there's a lot of yelling and screaming. But I think coming back down to reality, it actually, let's say we do lose, in some convincing fashion on Sunday. The best 2-2 scenario that you can ask for is being 2-2 with your 5th round, 5th start QB showing glimpses of real promise and showing that he can make the throws that you need him to make, with a running backs and weapons group showing signs of being dangerous, and a defensive line that you've invested so much in showing glimpses that they can take over a game like Daron Payne and others did in the second half against Denver. So all things considered, I know there was a lot of yelling for the last couple of minutes, but all things considered, that's a pretty good 2-2 as opposed to, Howell being a mess and eating
it's 2-2 with, I think, the Bears after that, right? So 2-2, and I mean that's a win. There's no chance they lose to Justin Fields and the Bears. So
you hope so. We almost lost to them last year, and Carson Wentz had to have a spectacular block.
Well, I think I don't care about Justin Fields. What I do care about is the defense has shown an inability to stop quarterbacks scrambling. And Josh Allen exposed that on multiple third downs. That third down defense, I don't want to drill too much into it because it was just a venting session, but the third down defense on Sunday was atrocious.
Yes.
There were multiple times they had him in 3rd and longs, and Josh Allen was very, very, very easy.
Right up and ran it. Yep.
Yeah, so we're not good with mobile quarterbacks.
But that's been years. I mean, it's literally been years like that.
Well, we also haven't had stud linebackers or even consistently serviceable linebackers in a long time, right? Where was Jamin on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch closely,
I was gassing him hard last week, right? He played great against the Broncos.
Did you guys
Cody
see?
Barton is the handicap. He's constantly waiting for the running back to hit the hole and run into him instead of him crashing in. Like, the linebacking core is atrocious.
Did anyone see there were multiple times where one of our defensive linemen dropped back in coverage?
Yeah, Chase did it.
Chase, I saw Montez. I saw a couple
Yeah,
times.
but that happens in the scheme that you play.
Yeah, that's going to happen, especially when they're running their double.
I don't love that in obvious passing downs. I don't love that. You're paying these guys to get after the quarterback.
I mean, those guys are better than your linebackers that you would have on the field in a nickel, right? Or if you bring up, in your cornerbacks, right? I mean, you still have a younger secondary, right? Like Cam Curl. I'm expecting more. I mean, that's just gonna be honest. Like I'm expecting more. Like there's the Bills were able to scheme open any player they wanted, right? And that's what I'm aching for here as a Commanders fan, right? Like, why can't we scheme? Why can't we just get the ball to Terry and just see what happens? Why can't Jahan just force feed them the ball? Like I don't know how else to describe it. Every other team does it. The Chargers had two guys. They're two receivers, and Mike Williams tearing his ACLs totally sucks. But Herbert is going straight to the Pro Bowl based on that performance. They had two different. I mean, at any point in time during that game, he could get them the ball. Like they would just go in, they go playground. It's Keenan Allen's turn, and he's going to go out 5 yards, catch the ball, and see what happens. Like I don't understand why our team can't do that here. Like we just don't do it.
It's the third game under Bieniemy. You still need a little bit more timing and understanding of the
how many games are you giving him before you know, like if they look like this going into week 7 or 8 with this anemic offense? I mean, we killed Scott every week for years for the vanilla offense and the inability to scheme players open.
Right, but if Scott Turner got 3 years, you can give Bieniemy 7-8 games to get it to click. You can't be mad at that yet. I mean, Howell had 4 picks, but I mean, I need you to realize, like, Kirk Cousins, he was his 7th start against the Giants, right? 7-10 Giants or whatever. He threw 4 picks. He was 26 years old. Howell is 24 years old, 23 years old, 4 picks against a Super Bowl contender. Like, you just need to give time for.
Well, look, speaking of Kirk,
experience to happen.
Speaking of Kirk, do you think we'll see him traded? Do you think it's a vibe? Like, if you're the Jets,
I feel bad.
If you're the Jets, aren't at least sniffing around to see if you can get Kirk? Right, his contract isn't going to renew anyway. Like,
I want a homecoming back to Washington. That's the Jets.
Oh my God, we can't do that.
Why not? Snyder's gone.
Unless you're completely on Howell, you can't bring him back here. But I'm surprised the Jets haven't made a call. Like Zach Wilson is not. He's not an NFL quarterback.
They brought in Trevor Siemian. Nobody.
Do you realize?
I mean, you're right.
Cousins is on pace,
but like what he's on a 1-year deal. Like he's walking at the end of the season or getting extended.
The only explanation of what's going on in New York is Aaron Rodgers being a psycho and telling them, "Hey, I'll be back in 2 months."
I don't know how many mushrooms that man is eating to say he can recover quickly.
So I did go down this well. The procedure that he had done is different. Like he will likely be back on his feet within 2. He won't be back this season, right? But he'll be back probably by training camp. Like if his surgery, if the stitches are like they do this like
they put a brace.
They put a brace, right?
Inside his leg.
Yeah. But like he's not going to be on the field throwing balls this season.
He said if they make it to the playoffs, he could come back.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is I think he's saying, hey, just bring in a vet.
Yeah, there's no playoffs. There's no playoffs but Trevor's not. I don't know how you would do that. Like, why not Tannehill? Why not Kirk? These guys are
because those guys would be the long-term solution. Yeah, I'm saying no.
I don't think so because Kirk is not. Kirk is done his contract is over. Like he's a free agent at the end of the season.
I'm saying if you get Kirk Cousins to take you to the playoffs, you're not going to let him go next season. Fans will go
you're,
crazy.
You're keeping Kirk.
There's continuity there. It's not like the NBA or MLB. You can't rent a guy just for a playoff run.
Yeah, of course you keep Kirk over Rodgers. Kirk is on point, right? Or he's on pace this year for 6,000 passing yards, 50 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
He's also on
pace
for 0 wins. Yeah, exactly. He's on pace for he's on pace for
I feel so bad for
these guys. Couldn't find $4 or $5 million to keep Dalvin Cook. I mean, he looks like he's completely finished too. I mean, he looks terrible with the Jets, but I'm surprised at how poorly they're playing. But I mean, for them to be 0-3, it's I didn't have that at the beginning of the season. I'm still kind of surprised even saying it because they should be better than that. But you are, Stevie said it, like you are what your record says you are. And frankly, staying in that division, the Packers, Jordan Love looks like an NFL quarterback. Like he looks like he doesn't have to be Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers level good. But I mean, he's playing great. He's playing great right now. I mean, and I mean, what more do you want out of that team, right? They look good. They look good. They look like they're going to be competitive as well. That division.
I mean, the quarterback position is so fickle in this league. Like I said, I watched both those Monday night games. Why are they simultaneous? I don't know. But
did you do the split screen?
I tried it on YouTube. Yeah. It's okay.
That's the one highlight of the some of these all the primetime games have been terrible.
They've been terrible. Yeah. But I mean, the team won yesterday, but Joe Burrow doesn't look right. I don't care. They won. I don't care. He doesn't look like Joe Burrow from the last couple seasons. And so, it's a hardest position in sports. I mean, the hardest job in sports. And it's really fickle. So I don't know.
I mean, you can hate on the Packers all you want for kind of what they do with Aaron Rodgers and never giving him weapons or whatever. But the reality is they had Brett Favre. They drafted for the future. He sat a long time, learned the system, right? Aaron Rodgers takes over. They quickly drafted Jordan Love, sat a long time, learned the system. They have figured out how to maintain continuity with the quarterback position, right? If Jordan Love works out to have the ability to
damn near 30
slowly progress,
35 years of stability at that position.
They have to be the most stable franchise in the league as far as quarterback play. Second place would be the Patriots, just because Brady played for so long, right? But after Brady, that clearly they can't do anything. But they figured it out, right? And if you want to bring this back into the Commanders or the Redskins or whatever, Howell needs to sit and learn that system, right? Make all the mistakes he makes. Nobody thought this year was going to be a successful year. You're in a lame duck season with Ron Rivera, new ownership. Everything can get blown up next season, regardless of what you put on.
What are you quitting on this? Well, FP,
I'm
just in evaluation mode.
Don't be a quitter. What are you doing?
I'm saying, regardless of what happens this season, it could get blown up next year because you have brand new ownership, right? But all I'm saying is you got to let Howell ride through and kind of work out the kinks in his play.
Yeah, listen, at this point, you're committed to Howell, right? I don't want to hear about Jacoby. Like, you've got to play Howell unless he gets injured. He's got to take every snap possible, because you got to know by the end of the season if he's got another one in him or if you're moving in another direction. This can't be a Heineke situation. It can't be that.
Yeah.
Although the Falcons, you could certainly argue that they would have potentially won. They could win games with Heineke. He's better than what they've got right now starting at quarterback. And I don't know what they're thinking. Like, again, when we talk about, like, why aren't you?
They look competitive, though. They look competitive even with Desmond Ridder. They look competitive.
Desmond, I'm done with. I'm out on Desmond Ridder, right? And frankly, they have a winning formula there. They have 3 running backs that can all run the ball. That should be your play. First down, second down, run, and then see what's what after that.
The truth is, all the new
Goff looks like an all-pro.
All the new QBs, first year, second year QBs, they look like trash right now. None of them have really
look at old man Dalton through. Look at Dalton and the Dalton Thielen.
He made the Panthers look fantastic.
Yes, because there's a feel for the game, right? And I do want to talk about what happened with the Broncos and Miami here. Like, that was a fascinating game to watch, right? I mean, the Broncos, their games are always on in my house, right? My wife is a Broncos fan, so that game was in one of the boxes during the multi-view. And I swear every time I looked, I mean, I wasn't like locked in on it, but every time I looked over, the Dolphins were scoring. The Dolphins had the ball. The Dolphins were scoring. The Broncos were being turned over. I don't think I'm ever going to see a game like that again. Like, what are the chances we see another 70 spot?
100%.
You think so? I don't think so.
Well, what's
the NFL have you been watching? Look how bad
the record was 72 set by the Redskins.
They had it. They literally had it. If they hadn't, they could have kicked the field goal very easily. Joe, in this week,
just to show you how petty Sean Payton is, they didn't kick the field goal, right? They punted it or turnover on downs or whatever. It's like a minute left in the game, and instead of running out the clock, Sean Payton's running plays. And in post game, he's like, "Yeah, we just wanted to see what we had." Like, see what you had. You're losing by 150 points. What do you see what you had?
Nothing is better than Sean Payton being embarrassed after he dragged Nathaniel Hackett through the mud. And
it's so poetic. It's poetic fantastic to see. Again, this is one of those things that I would have never pegged. That coach, even with maybe washed up Russell Wilson, like, they should not be that bad. I mean, they can't do anything on offense and defensively. I mean, do you just quit at halftime? Like, is there a mercy rule? That was so embarrassing. Stevie, I disagree. I don't think we'll see 70 points again from another team. I think it's taken a zillion years to get there. And I think there's too much professionalism amongst the coaching fraternity to allow it to happen.
And just wait till Dion gets to the league, okay?
You might see it October 12th when the Chiefs play the Broncos, because the Chiefs against the Bears looked incredible.
How are we going to talk about the Chiefs without talking about TayTay? How are you going to bring that up?
You guys, hold on. You don't want to talk. There's nothing you want to talk. You don't want to talk about the Dolphins having 3 different running backs go for 2,000 yards.
I didn't watch any of the game.
Steve, talk to me about
all right, Steve. Let's talk about TayTay.
No. I was going to actually talk about football. Okay, for somebody. Okay, Tyreek Hill has reached Randy Moss, Marvin Harrison, T.O. level, where Isaac Bruce, greatest show on turf. Rice. The ball is going to him, and there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop him. That's incredible.
He jogged past the defender. I watched it like 3 times. He caught the ball on a slant, 10 yards down the field, ran full speed, and then jogged past the safety into the end zone.
I mean, that has to be the biggest mistake the Chiefs have ever done, was let somebody like Tyreek go. I don't know how you do that.
You can't call it a mistake. They won a Super Bowl, and they've won 2 actually since they let him go.
They could win 6 more if they just keep Kelsey, Mahomes, and Tyreek together.
I'm blanking on the running back's name.
Mostert?
Mostert had a freaking monster game. No, on paper is faster than Tyreek Hill. Like, how is that? I don't know how that's a thing, but he's fast.
Can I give a shout out to John in Chantilly, who texted me an article about Tyreek Hill saying he wants to be a porn star?
I saw that tweet.
I did not see that. Can someone send it to me?
We got to get John on Chantilly on the show.
Tyreek is a little unhinged. I mean, he
might have a little Antonio Brown
season or post this season. Yeah, Antonio Brown's available. I mean,
no. Keep some respect for Antonio Brown. Don't compare.
No. I'm saying Tyreek might have the AB.
Don't compare which way. Don't compare which way.
Ain't nobody gonna get to AB's level. Okay, you have some respect when you're talking about AB.
You're not talking about on the football field. You're just talking.
No, I'm talking about in life.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, all I know is if you look at the tweet that went viral about Tyreek saying he wanted to be a porn star, go enjoy those comments because there was a lot of volunteers.
Okay, this isn't a hot take here, but doesn't every guy want to be a porn star? Like, is there something? I didn't see the article, but am I missing something here?
Sounds exhausting, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna go silent on this one.
That's fine too. I'm a little surprised, Stevie, though. Honestly, though, that you think that we'll see another 70 spot. And
Joe, look at this, dude. How bad is the NFL these days? There's so many bad teams. There's some great offenses, and it's a pass happy league. It's a people throwing it 70 times. Sam Howell. Was it Sam Howell? One of the quarterbacks. I think Sam Howell threw it 30 times in the first half.
Sure.
Yeah.
He was on pace for 60 throws in the rain. Like, it's crazy.
But 70 is a big number.
70 is a lot of points, but I'm just saying that there's some really bad football teams.
I understand, but that was like a perfect storm of running backs running everywhere, receivers catching everything, defense turning over the Broncos. It's I mean, even 50 points is tough, Stevie. Like most teams don't get over 40.
I need you to realize the Broncos have, I think it'll be, first of all, they're playing the Bears this week, and the loser of that game should be relegated out of the NFL. We were talking about that earlier. Whoever loses that game, just kick them out and send them to the XFL.
Yeah,
but the Broncos have
back.
a stretch where it's Chiefs, Bills. Like the Broncos have a very hard schedule. It's very easy. If you're another defense and you see the Dolphins drop 70, everybody's going to want to essentially beat that, right? Everyone's going to go for beating that.
You think it's likely that we'll see another 70 spot too?
I think it could happen this season against the Broncos.
I would say it's more likely that Jimmy Graham scores another touchdown. There's no chance of either of you knew he was still in the league. Then
I used to draft him in 2012 fantasy.
Is he in New Orleans?
Yeah, he's on the Saints.
Wow.
He caught a touchdown this past weekend in the Green Bay game, but he I don't know. Derek Carr's gone. Your boy Jameis came in to
famous Jameis.
Yeah. I don't know. No comment about him.
I could use some lobster.
Was it crabs? It was crabs.
It was crabs. Yeah.
Crab legs. He was eating the W, if I'm not mistaken, on the side. He's gonna eat the W. Get the professional.
Oh no, I got a YouTube that clip. Okay.
Yeah. That one, and then find the TO clip where he's cheering on his teammates. The clip I have never been able to. I saw it once. I've never been able to find it.
Wait, what is this clip?
It's T.O. when he's on the 49ers with his helmet in his hand at training camp. The coaches get on him saying he's not being a team player, and he's like sulking, just carrying his helmet around the sideline. Just, yeah, team, go team, woo team. I've never been able to find it. I saw it with Stevie. It just lives on in my head, Stevie. I've never seen it again.
Was T.O. in Cincinnati yesterday? I know Ocho Cinco was. I think T.O. was at the Colorado game. It's one of those.
I don't know. I mean, the last thing I saw from T.O. was he was trying to get back in the league or play in the XFL or something.
No, he got into a fight with Stephen A. No, wait.
Ocho Cinco got into it with Shannon Sharp about not being Hall of Fame caliber, and then he just started dropping names about everybody in his era who was better than Ocho Cinco. And Ocho Cinco just sat there quietly, and it's hilarious.
Wait, Chad Johnson thinks he is Hall of Fame caliber.
He thinks he should be a Hall of Fame caliber receiver or nominee or whatever.
No.
And then Shannon Sharp was like, T.O., Moss, Calvin Johnson. Like, he just started ripping off all these names of receivers that are so very far better than him in his class or whatever, his era. Kind of felt bad to see Ocho Cinco get schooled like that. But
are we going to talk about Taylor Swift or not? It's literally the only reason I'm here.
Can we talk about the business side of it? 400% increase in Kelsey jerseys, and he gained 400,000 social media followers.
Listen, Joe. I'm going to take over.
Business of it.
I'm taking over.
Just
I'm quarterbacking. Okay. Question: what base did Travis Kelce get to with Taylor Swift on Sunday night?
Not even first.
Home run.
Not even first.
I mean, he ain't in the batter's box. Okay?
She was LFGing in the box and smashing the window. She's hanging out with his mom.
We're gonna hit the
I'm more
terminology.
I'm more interested.
Hard, and he threw himself into the friend zone, and ain't nothing coming from it but business transactions.
I'm more interested in which accent Travis Kelce uses when he talks to her. Is he, the other Kelsey's brother talking normal, or is he the current iteration of Travis Kelce?
The douche bro iteration?
Yo-boying it up. That's what I'm interested in. How does he talk to his mom? Right? How many times? Like, I don't necessarily care that she was there. I think it's cool, right? It's like a pop culture, like cross-pollination thing, right? Like she's the biggest pop star in the world, and she is. And, he's arguably the face of the league or one of the bright spots of the league or a known commodity. He is. I mean, I mean, is he not one of the most recognizable people in the league, Stevie?
He is now.
No, he's not. I could name 10
He
guys
is now.
I know you can. I'm saying people know who Patrick Mahomes is, right?
Yeah.
They know, and they know who Travis Kelce is. They know who the Chiefs are because they win all the Super Bowls.
Before Sunday? No.
No, he got 400,000 social media followers after Taylor Swift.
Yeah, because all
He's
the
a
people
tight
are
end,
adding
Joe.
him because they don't know who. Huh?
He's a tight end.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I got this one wrong, guys. But I would imagine he would be a known commodity.
Not at all.
Okay. All right.
Go. Where's
I'm
LP? Send LP on the street and have him pull 10 people.
Did you see how they smuggled her in and out of the stadium?
And the popcorn machine.
In the popcorn machine.
Yeah.
That was
hilarious.
That wasn't confirmed. That wasn't confirmed. Don't.
How terrible is your life if you can't like I understand like the appeal of fame and stardom. I get it, but can you imagine like you can't go anywhere or do anything?
It's a cult. Taylor Swift fans are a cult.
Is she
if you hashtag Taylor Swift on this episode, it'll be our highest episode listening count in 5 years. It's a cult.
Is she bigger right now than Michael
Whitney
Jackson?
In her prime.
Than Michael Jackson.
Nobody's going to be bigger than Michael Jackson.
Well, Michael Jackson didn't have social media.
Michael Jackson.
He didn't have endless clips and
you could go to a village in the middle of Africa that hasn't had internet for 7 years.
He's also not a woman.
And the kids know Michael Jackson music. Nobody's bigger than Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, globally, his fame was more, but obviously the time is different where she's ubiquitous, right? She can be everywhere.
She's NSYNC big. Like in the same week that NSYNC is talking about a reunion tour and all the millennial moms are, dancing on TikTok and excited about it. The same week she just attends a football game and she, breaks the internet to the point where ESPN is live tweeting about, TayTay and the box.
Wait. Sorry. I liked FP's idea. We should hashtag Taylor Swift. And for all the Swifties, okay, I don't think she's hot.
I'll give her a solid 6.57.
I'm not even touching this topic.
When you factor in the money?
No. I can objectively. No, it's purely physical, right? Personality. You remove it. She probably has a terrible personality.
Who doesn't
face? Who
doesn't love a blonde with a big mouth?
I'm gonna skip over
that. Five. I mean, kind of low with the score there.
I think she looks like every girl at Mosaic Coffee, any girl at Mosaic Coffee Shop.
Or is it every girl tries to look like her?
I think. Hey, listen, I'm on a Middle Eastern kick these days. I find Middle Eastern women absolutely gorgeous.
She has more money than he does, though, right?
100%.
That's a stupid question.
Yeah. There's articles about her tour reviving state economies.
Is she going to campaign with Michelle Obama?
Mike Obama? Oops.
I think, Stevie, we haven't talked about it, but there's no chance Team Blue is running the same ticket. Zero chance.
Well, this is a white supremacy sign. That's not what I meant. I meant zero. 0%.
Drop the R word and the hand signal.
I mean, Stevie, there's a whole bunch of stuff. FP didn't want to talk about it. Did you follow the Portnoy stuff this past week?
I have become fascinated by Dave Portnoy. Ever since the pizza owner went crazy. I mean, there should be some documentary on him because I find him building up the Barstool business. I mean, he's kind of the original bro. I mean, you look at what Pat McAfee's doing on ESPN, that whole bro culture. Portnoy, he almost like took it from Bill Simmons. Bill Simmons is not a bro, but he's a Boston kind of, white guy.
That's an excellent.
Yeah. But Portnoy took it to levels that Bill Simmons could never even dream of. And so, as a businessman, Portnoy's incredible. Then he goes and interviews Trump. He's clearly, there's been some really serious allegations against him that, have at least, pieces of validity to it.
Merit, yeah.
And so he's this controversial figure, but then he has this cult-like following. And people would say when they go against Dave Portnoy, the machine comes out, like his machine.
There's a few others like him too, right? I mean, Clay Travis to a similar.
He sucks.
No, he doesn't. He absolutely doesn't suck, right?
He's smaller, much smaller.
Debatable, right? But like, if we're talking about like the bros, the last stand of bros, I would put Clay in that list. I'd put Andrew Tate in that list. Those people. I mean, even your boy, what's his face on HBO. I'd put him in that list too. He's
Bill Maher's too old.
He's old, right? But when he speaks, people listen, and when people attack him, he fights back, right? Portnoy, for the way Portnoy handled the WAPO, the hit piece this past week. I mean, recording it, telling the reporter, I know what
that was a great move.
I mean, Portnoy during the height of COVID was must-watch TV every single day with the one bite. Everybody knows the rules, the pizza reviews. He rightfully states, like, he is literally the patron saint of small business, and he's done more in the last 2.5. Like, no one can take those things away from him. And for a reporter to be literally caught red-handed, try to weasel out of it, get caught again, run the hit piece, and then have the hit piece. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, like, what happened to it once it ran. Like you said, Stevie, the army, the machine mobilized, right? The anti-machine mobilized. And they went out and got it. And he's been vocal. Tate's been vocal the last couple of weeks now as well about what's happening with like Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Right? Russell Brand picked a fight on Bill Maher's shows when that was his big coming out, right? When he went after Big Pharma, and he had the famous soundbite. Like, he's like, I'm out of respect for your show, like, I brought facts, right? And he just laid it out. Like, he's been doing this for years. The machine, again, I don't know if he's guilty, not guilty, good guy, bad guy. I don't know. I know when you upset the machine, like the mainstream, the liberal machine comes out to get you. What's interesting with Portnoy, with Clay, and what we're seeing now with Tate. I mean, look at Tate's interview with Candace Owens, with Tucker. Like, these are legitimate reporters that are sitting down and leaving with an impression of, like, this is not who we were expecting to interview, right? So Portnoy, it's also like he's also a brilliant. He comes off as like a doofus at times, right? But he's a brilliant businessman, AV day trader. Like, that whole persona is a real thing. And keep in mind, like, he sold his business for $500 million and bought it back for $1, right? And
that was the best quote of the argument with the pizza guy.
Right? It's yeah, exactly. It's actually incredible. Although they did cancel that show, the Mean Girls pod. I don't know. There was Alex and Jordan. I'll miss seeing the shorts, from both of them. But he's a fascinating shorts, the videos, not the actual shorts.
But you got to say reels, man. Whatever. YouTube Shorts is dating you.
I did not catch that. I thought you were talking about her shorts.
Do you know who I'm talking about, Stevie? Do you know?
I've seen them. The blonde one's blonde. Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan is the brunette.
Brunette. One. Yeah. The other one is more famous. The blonde.
They filled the void of Call Her Daddy. That's what they did.
That's right.
I'm not familiar with this.
They were fired from Barstool.
Yeah.
Portnoy got rid of them.
They were not renewed.
Right.
He had beef with them.
Yeah. They were like disrespectful.
They didn't show up for work.
Yeah. And he just didn't. He didn't renew, but yeah, he's fired.
That's what I'm saying, Joe. Is Portnoy makes a living off of airing all of that dirty laundry. He's just always got cameras running. Putting a camera in LP's office and having complain about all of us.
He's busy playing indoor soccer, apparently, right? He's like, I'm the show, but I gotta go play soccer.
The bench as the spark is what he said.
Listen, he's salty. Just dedicate a whole show to his saltiness. It'll be like Festivus. He can air all his grievances.
Respectfully, I don't think he would last more than a segment or two. I think he's got, maybe two in the chamber, and that's about it. I don't think we're gonna get more than 3 minutes of content out of LP. Even
that's when you throw in a "that's what she said" line, and then
he's always on tape delay. He's not gonna know about this till tomorrow.
But I do miss having him on the show, right? He's the only one I could talk soccer with, right? And he's probably the only one within 100 miles of where we're sitting right now that pays any attention to the Saudi League. Maybe Matt is following a little bit with the Saudi League, but there's no way you guys are following any international soccer.
Instantly fell out of interest of this conversation.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's glazed over. Steve's getting undressed over here.
No, have we done what do they call those checks on Matt Demet, like those suicide checks?
Safety check,
wellness check, like a wellness.
Giants and the Mets.
I'm just saying, somebody should just give him a ring or something.
Well, we call
hard being a New York fan.
We'll just check. Yeah, listen, that's what happens when you have one of the highest payrolls and literally nothing to show for it.
Come on, we haven't talked baseball on the podcast. The playoffs about to start next week.
Aren't we on
complaining about soccer?
20-year anniversary of the Nationals?
Yeah, are the Nats ahead of schedule, Stevie?
No, I think they're right on their schedule. They were ahead of schedule.
Are you excited about Rizzo re-upping?
Hey, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, it's better than broke. I mean, he's doing a good job.
That's what I'm saying. You got a good farm system. You got good guys. Looks like the owners are locked in. I mean,
they can't sell the team.
We've been talking about this for 2 years now.
It's fascinating. They cannot sell the team because they don't have TV rights. How fascinating is that? Not about the team. It's about the TV rights. That's where the money is, and they can't do it because they're still locked to Masson.
And that's why an NBA team and an NFL team will go like a hotcake, even if it's a hot mess like the Redskins. So, I mean,
yes.
It is. I mean, and then, you're going to have World Series potential baseball in the DMV if you really consider Baltimore in the DMV. But, I mean, that's a story right there. You're going to have some serious playoff baseball up 95 with World Series contenders. We'll see what happens there.
Let's get Matt on next week, and we'll do baseball playoff little preview show.
Is he okay?
Well, let's encourage him. Let's see if we can get him on the show. I do want to close because I want to be consistent with the top 5, low 5. I'm going to give you mine real quick. Let me know if you disagree. Low 5, and then we'll close out the show. Week 3, low 5. Bears, absolutely dead last. Texans, Broncos, Titans, Raiders, and the Vikings are sniffing around there too. I'm tempted to put the Broncos at the bottom. I think they belong there, given they gave up 70 points. But those are the lowest of the low teams. We saw the Broncos already here as Commanders. As Commanders fans, we got the Bears coming up at some point too. But these teams look really bad. I'm surprised the Vikings are as bad as they are. Any changes from you, Stevie or FP? Bears, Texans, Broncos, Titans, Raiders, Vikings.
I think you got to take the Texans out.
Okay.
Maybe I take the Vikings out too. The Vikings are going to be fine.
I don't know if you can be fine with an 0-3 start. But
they've been in these games.
Okay.
You got to drop the Giants down. Were the Giants in your bottom 5? They have to be bottom 5.
No, I think the Giants are better than all of these teams.
No.
Okay. Top 5.
I don't know why the Jets weren't there either. I mean,
also true. Zach Wilson's playing worse than Howell.
Yeah, the Jets. Bears, Texans, Broncos. Maybe it's Bears, Broncos, Titans, Jets. Okay. Well, we'll revisit next week.
There's legitimately 1/3 of the NFL that is really bad. I mean, I can name 10 teams. You name 5, Joe. We just added 3 or 4 to that list. There are legitimately 10 very bad teams.
There's 10. And I know the last 2 weeks I had the Commanders sniffing somewhere in like that 12 to 15 range. I'm dropping them down to like 20, 18.
I'll give them 15 to 20.
Fine. I mean, but lower half.
Well, like you said earlier in the show, they were somewhere in the 10 to 20 range. That's a big range, like 10 to 12.
Yeah.
That's playoffs versus 18 to 20. Yeah. You're drafting in, the top of the first round. So I think they're closer to the latter than the former.
And given their performance, I don't disagree. We'll see how they fare against the Eagles. I want that game to be competitive. Like I don't expect to win, but I expect more fight out of them. I think that's what I'm looking for. 2-2, and then we'll see what's what after the Bears game in 5.
You want a bold prediction?
Let's hear it.
It'll be terrible. Sam Howell's going to get hurt.
Whoa, why would you even put that in the universe?
Hey, what I've seen from Jalen Carter, what that guy does, he plays 50% of the snaps.
He's a baller.
Top 5 in
really smart. Actually,
pressures.
They keep him fresh. He comes in. He just creates problems everywhere.
Boys, Hassan Reddick will be lined up opposite Andrew Wiley. That's it.
Problem.
Sorry, I look.
And we haven't talked about Fletcher Cox.
I look forward to RG3's tweet about trying to play for us again.
It's coming soon for sure. Top 5, and then we're out of here. Top 5. I'm moving the Dolphins to number 1 because if you score 70, that's what you deserve. Eagles at 2, 49ers at 3, Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, 4, 5, 6. That's my top 5.
You got to go Dolphins, Niners, Chiefs, Eagles.
I like the Eagles more than the Niners just because of the quarterback play and the consistency. The defense looks better too.
If you watch the Eagles closely, look, Jalen Hurts is good, but he's not what he was
There's
last year.
a gentleman there by the last name of Swift that looks literally unstoppable right now.
I mean, that was the steal of free agency.
Right.
But the Niners are just – I mean, the Niners are playing out of this world, and they're better than the Eagles. But also the Chiefs with Kelsey have shown – I mean, they dominated the Bears.
Yeah,
like,
notably absent from that top 5, 6, 7 even are the Bengals. I'm surprised that they're struggling the way they are. T. Higgins looks like not an NFL receiver all of a sudden. He's not getting targeted. He's not doing a lot with the ball when he does get it. Burrow looks to be, 70% healthy. That injury is lingering for sure.
I mean, Jamar still had a great game, but
I think great is relative given what he's done in the past, right? I mean, it was a good game, right? But they look to be in some trouble as well. Their defense showed up, and I think there's some sleeper teams out there that I think will make the playoffs. Maybe we weren't expecting to. The Browns defense just looks like next level good, even though the offense maybe isn't quite there. I'm still big on the Lions. I still think the Lions can string together wins. And they look like a complete team. If they can figure out the running situation, I think they'll be okay. And the Chargers, the Seahawks, I don't believe. I'm not buying Geno. The Chargers,
Brandon Staley's going to blow up the Chargers. He's going to ruin all their chances.
What I don't understand is why they can't run the ball without Eckler, right? Like Joshua Kelly should be better than 1.3 or 1.4 yards per carry in the absence of Eckler, and Mike Williams going down is a big deal. So we'll see how they recover, but.
The Seahawks, I'm telling you, are sneaky good, and Kenneth Walker is a fantastic running back, and Tyler Lockett and DK, they're sneaky good.
They got some skill position.
And that NFC West, I mean, it's kind of up for the takings after the Niners, right?
Sure. Okay, final thoughts, boys. Stevie, anything from your end?
Oh, we covered Taylor Swift, Portnoy. Russell Brand, okay. Biden not running. Kamala's gone. Michelle will be in there. Mike, whatever.
I think it'll be Michelle and Gavin Newsom and Michelle Obama.
I don't know if Gavin's capable of playing second fiddle. They had a little too much star power at the
Adam at the top of the ticket, not the second.
Oh, no. I think Michelle Obama's got a lock on it. You ever try to take something out of that grip? You can't.
I have not. Thank you so much. No, I haven't. All right. FB, anything from you?
Eagles, Commanders. Eagles win 27-14.
What bad TV show are you watching right now?
There's been none that I haven't found anything.
We need the writer's strike to end because there's only so many shows. Steve, are you still working through Ballers again?
No. I gave up on that. Once they bought like a skating thing and like an extreme sports. How stupid is that? Like,
yeah,
get away from them. They got away.
I was talking to
half a suit's terrible.
I was talking to our boy Petey, and I've actually never done a full re-binge of Game of Thrones. I watched it live. Like I binged, caught up, watched it live, never revisited it. So I might do a 1 through 6 re-binge of just that.
That's a tough one though, because then you got to start from you can't pick certain episodes. You got to just
full re-binge season 1 through 6.
The 1 hour episodes are tough. There's a lot of 10 second. Like there's a lot of.
The problem is I'll probably
storylines don't matter.
I'll probably go on like a performance improvement plan at work. I'll just stop being productive.
I'm almost through a rewatch of Suits, and the fall off after season 4 is like, I mean, it's an epic level collapse.
Once the glass shatters about the Suits plots and kind of how the script is written, it's hard to watch.
I mean, FP just dropped Petey's name. Can we get a cast of characters back on the show? Okay, can we get like a who's who? Where are they now? Where's Razzle? Okay,
where is Razzle? We need to know you. Where is Razzle? Listen, I can only do so much.
I'm not believing that, Joe. Okay, I got a lot of faith in you.
Yeah, I do respond to challenges. So okay, let me see what I can do.
We need a cast of characters here.
I mean, we can't even get LP on the show. It's hard to get people on.
He's busy. He's working out. He's running. He's waterboying it up. But
You can fit 4 of his chests in my chest. He ain't working out. Okay.
Stevie's on a health kick these days. You look good, Stevie.
Stevie's been looking
I
great.
saw you out there mixing it up with the Redskins at the golf charity event.
Hey, shout out Anthony Armstrong, David Macklin. Had a wonderful time with those guys. Hey, that's somebody we got to get on the show. Anthony's got his own podcast.
We'd love to have him. We'd love to return the favor as well. Yeah. Bill Rowland is out there too. I'm trying to get Bill.
Oh, my guy.
For Tuesday next week. Hopefully we'll get Bill on. He did a show with Chad actually on Sunday. It was good. They did it between the first round or the early games and the late games. I think this Sunday we get early football too. We get 9:00 football.
Yep, London games are back.
So
Commanders are back on Fox finally.
Should be a good one. All right, boys. Thank you very much. Let's put a bow on the show. Week 3 in the books. Thank you for making time, Stevie. FP, it was good to see you. My name is Joe. This show is called DTC, Defeating the Curse, available on all social media platforms at Defeat the Curse, available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. If you like the show, please subscribe. Drop us a line if you'd like to participate or sponsor anything. I think we're open to that as well. Until next week, we're out.